Let me show you how I got this gorgeous look using only drugstore products for V-Day. The key to good skin prep is always to cleanse, exfoliate, and then moisturize, which is why I'm going in with this Hydro Touch Primer by NYX. I'm just going to put this on like a moisturizer just to make sure my skin is plump and moisturized before I move in with any other products. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you need is to be able to accurately prime your skin. So I am going to be using more than one primer, but as you see here, I'm starting with the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I'm placing this where I want my product to stick and last, and I want oil to be minimal. So my T-zone, under eyes, forehead, and then I put it on my eyes to make sure my base sticks as well. I'm going to put a little more on the bottom of my chin because I have a little discoloration there that I want to make sure that I cover, and I want the product to stick to. Alright, moving on, now I'm going to bring my Field Trip Lip Moringa Butter. And I'm going to place this on my lips because I know my lips will get dry and cracked. So we're going to take care of that first before I do anything else. And then I'm going to take the extra product that I have on my fingers, and I'm going to put it under my eye. Why? Because my eyes get dry, they water, and this kind of like thick butter texture kind of prevents from them watering and ruining my concealer. This is my concealer hack that I love. Now I'm going to go in with my spoolie, brush my brows up to kind of determine where I need to fill it in. And I'm going to always start from the arch of my brow. And then I'm going to go down to my tail, just kind of trying to create a uniform line. And then I go into the front lightly, just to blend it all in. And then I'm going to brush my brows out again with my spoolie, just to kind of take a look at the bottom and see what needs to be connected. I'm going to do the exact same thing, starting at the arch, trying to connect it in one clean line, and then going back into the front to kind of fill the bottom in and make it more prominent. Alright, now I'm going in with the Glossier Brow Flick, and I use this to kind of add those like detail hairlines, those detail hair strokes that I want to add to the end of my tail, which is the most sparse. Just to kind of further blend and give that full fluffy brow look that I like, but I don't necessarily have. Now I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel, Clear Brow Gel. I'm going to take that on a spatula. And I try not to use a lot, so I kind of have to put some back into the jar. And I like to lay this on my brows flat first. And then I like to go in with my spoolie and kind of brush them through, just because I don't want to ruin the product that I already put down. And sometimes I'll brush my hairs down just to make sure that it all gets product. And I'm going to do that on the other side too, before I put down the product, just to make sure that the product is on the front and the back of your brow hairs and they actually stick right. Alright, now I'm using my spoolie and a bit of force to kind of lay those brow hairs down and put it in the right position that I want them to lay, right? I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side with my spoolie. And then the last trick that I do with my brows is to take that spatula end of this tool. This is the e.l.f. brow tool, by the way, the one with the spoolie and the spatula. And I kind of just press my hairs down with that spatula. This gets off extra product if you put too much on, and it also kind of just helps lay everything down. Sometimes you do have a little product from your brow pencil that moves. Y'all saw that. But you can always just go back in and refill it and clean it up after you lay it down with the spatula. Y'all, I really wish I could play my music that I'm playing whenever I'm getting ready, but I know YouTube copyright will just get me every time I try, so I always edit out my music. Alright, now we're grabbing one of the best drugstore products, the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm using the shade Fawn. I love the shade under my brows. It just works seamlessly. Like any other color I've struggled with, but this one, y'all, this color match and the way that it already has a brush, so I don't have to grab a brush, I can just glide it right on. And then I have cleaned up brows. Like, this is the easiest clean up brow product to ever use, and you can build it up to however thick you want it, however thin you want it. So I love this product for all beginners. For all people who are looking for like a drugstore concealer, I would definitely go on with this. So I'm going to take it again now on my palette. I'm just going to push out a little. And then I'm going to take another Drugstore palette, which is the Revolution Makeup eyeshadow primer base. Now I'm mixing these two because my primer base is kind of light and I want it to be similar to my natural skin tone, so I'm going to mix it with that darker concealer as you see here. I'm going to take a brush, mix those in together, and then I'm going to place this in dots all over my eyelid. And then after that, I'm just going to start blending it in, making sure I cover everything. Everything is smooth, everything is even, and then I have kind of like a primed canvas now to do my eyeshadow on. Alright, let's talk about why I recommend also using this eyeshadow primer or base. I find that when you use an eyeshadow base, the pigment in your eyeshadows show up better, they last better on the skin, they set better on the skin versus using just a concealer. So this product is specifically made to make sure that your eyeshadows are brighter, they have more saturation, and they're easier honestly to blend when you have a base down that is flesh, even, and it sets correctly, so it helps the shadows to stay in place because your eyelids move, right? And you want your shadow to stay in place regardless of the wrinkles in your eyelids moving. So that's why I recommend always an eyeshadow base as you're doing makeup. And drugstores have great eyeshadow bases that you have to take a look into. You don't have to spend a bunch of money on the eyeshadow base, I promise y'all. Alright, moving into complexion, I'm going to take this Makeup Revolution highlight and contour stick. I'm going to use the contour side, which is actually more neutral, right? Alright, come a little closer. And I need you to listen very carefully. You are only going to use this where you have darkness, where you have hyperpigmentation. Lightly tap this over your hyperpigmentation. You don't need to use a lot. See how I'm just tapping? I'm trying to build up some coverage, and then I'm moving on. Tap, build up the coverage, move on. You do not have to go crazy with this. I see a lot of people going crazy with their color corrector and it looks very orange, which orange you can use, but for me, because of my neutral-ish undertone, I feel like using a neutral contour shade just works better. And this is easier because it's just a stick, right? Alright, one more time on the other side. Lightly tap and cover your dark spots, your hyperpigmentation. I'm just tapping and I'm building up the coverage lightly. I'm kind of easing it back into the rest of my skin tone to kind of blend it all in, right? You don't have to use a lot. You don't have to go crazy. I like to go down to the chin area because that's where I have it the most, and I kind of want it to blend and be even, so I extend it all the way down. I get my little hyperpigmentation around my mouth, my little spots on my cheek, and then I'm done. Not a lot of product. I'm not going crazy. That's it. Alright, now I'm going to take this e.l.f. brush and I'm just going to lightly tap this product into my skin. I wanted to make it as even and flesh as possible with the rest of my skin that has no product on it yet, but I want to make sure it's pressed in and it's ready to be set. So I'm just going over lightly, tapping into the skin, not going back and forth, just pouncing up and down to set it into the skin. Alright, I have this e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand Contour, and it is a bit dark, but I want to see what it will act like on the eyes because I kind of want like a sultry, dark look, but I feel like this will be like my mid-tone, a tone that I should start out with. So let's cross our fingers. Let's hope that this drugstore product works, even though it's meant for the contour. But I like trying different stuff, like using products a little differently. So I'm just kind of gonna place it kind of in the area that I want it. And then let's see how this blends out. I am going to take, I don't want to take anything too fluffy, but I don't want to take anything too compact either. So I'm going to take this brush. And then let's see. Kind of want to tap it in first. And then set it with a similar color. But I kind of want that like that contour shade, like that dark brown, but also like a little bit of gray in it. And I feel like this is the closest thing that I have that's Drugstore that's liquid that will give me that. And I'm gonna build it up a little bit more on my outer corner of my eye. But let me blend this side out too. Gently taking it up and diffusing it out as I get closer to my brow. And I'm just stamping it. I'm not going back and forth. I'm just stamping and evening everything out. Now I'm gonna swipe just because I don't want it to get too harsh at the front of the brow. Like that. Let's see if we can darken this up just a little with another layer. And then diffuse the outer edge, which I think it's working. I think it looks good. This is exactly what I wanted, so I'm glad I tried that. Like, sometimes it's okay to use a product that's not necessarily meant for that area and kind of experiment and see if it's gonna work on a different area and give you like what you're looking for. Yeah, I feel so awkward because it's so quiet, but like I can't blast my music. I feel like you can blast your music on TikTok, but on YouTube you can't. Not without copyright, which is what I hate. Alright, I like this. I feel like it looks good. I like the way that it blended out. Not too harsh. Let's find something to set this with.